Hey guys, I'm getting set up. We'll start here shortly. I'm hoping to get some people in. Let's just chit chat and chill for an hour or so. Hoping maybe some of y'all jump up on panel with me. Excuse me. I know with the algorithm, sometimes people don't get notifications. I know Miss Mac sometimes doesn't get my notifications that I'm live. If y'all um, don't get the notifications, take and go to the bell and click on the bell and make sure to hit the all button. We all know how YouTube tries to silence us, so and we did make it through last night. Where I'm at didn't have no storms, and I haven't heard of any tornadoes within my state. So thank God for that. However, my thoughts and prayers are still with those that were affected late Friday night into Saturday morning. That was that's awful. I know several channels within this community is um going to help. Off the Wall Prepper and Dragonflies are leaving out tomorrow to go to Kentucky. Bear Independent, him and his organization's done left out. I watched his video right before I came, and he will be leaving out here in the next couple of days. I really wish that I lived close enough to these people to be able to go help. Off the Wall Prepper and Dragonflies was able to raise money last night to be able to buy blankets and jackets and stuff like that to be able to take with them, and go and meet up with a couple going to donate supplies, which I think completely. dragonflies has a family that was in the, within range of the tornadoes. I'm not sure who my viewer, but I appreciate you being here. A lot of times I feel like I'm talking to myself up here. And then if you want to, click the link and hop up on panel. I don't discriminate. And today was going to be a all female panel, but we'll see what it transpires. In about an hour and a half, I'm gonna have to start cooking supper, but I'll try to stay live as long as I can. I'm still drinking coffee, in which I drink coffee from the time I get up to the time I go to bed at night. So it had to be strong today. And last night's Christmas parade turned out excellent. I'm sorry that I didn't record all of it. But it turned out really, really well. And I believe we've finally set a final date to leave for New York, which will be December 30th. And I am not excited about that. I don't like to be away from home on New Year's, especially that far away. Even when, I was younger to go out partying and whatnot, I didn't out on New Year's Eve. My mom instilled in me that you're supposed to be at home on New Year's. In which she's a very superstitious woman. You didn't walk ladders. If black cat crossed your path, you crossed, and, whatnot. And the older I get, I see more of my mom in me than I do anything else. Once again, I do want to say I appreciate everybody that has subbed up. And I want to give a special shout out to Miss Southern Belle. That sweet, sweet woman always makes sure to share out, my channel. And I completely appreciate it. I cannot say thank you enough. We are at 50 subscribers. We were at 55. I'm not sure if it's because people weren't commenting as they subbed up or what, or maybe they just didn't like the content, which that's okay too. But I've noticed when you sub up, if you watch a video and comment on it, your subscription is pretty well solid. One day I'm gonna learn how to broadcast, on TikTok and Facebook when I'm doing the lives, hopefully. I really need to do another live on TikTok. I haven't done one this week. And the amount of love in that community is, a lot of the community here. And I can't appreciate, enough preppers often get, put in a class that were subpar. us hoarders. And it's not that we're hoarding, it's that we're preparing for the future, of what could happen today, tomorrow, you know. And I want to give a huge shout out to Appalachian PA. I watched a couple of her videos earlier, and I know she's a real big member of this community. And I always enjoy seeing her, in chat and on her lives and videos. And she made a video that makes a lot of sense. Doing, with the numerics and talking about the All CNI and Big Brother. And I honestly believe that with the construction of the black box off the coast of Tasmania, which is a state unto its own from Australia, but it's off the coast of Australia, that we're getting closer and closer every day. And by closer and closer, I know y'all know what I mean from watching, my lives and, my videos and whatnot. I try to stay away from the controversial stuff, but we all know how that is. It's hard to do because we no longer trust the governments of this world, not only here in the US, but, in other countries. I've always been told that to become a politician, you have to be a really, really good liar. But another thing I wanted to touch on today, we all remember the Travis Scott, nightmare. And I've also touched on other entertainers, not just musical, but actresses and actors and whatnot, covering up one eye in some of their pictures. I was a big fan of the Old Town Road video, with Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas. And then I got looking at Lil Nas's other videos, some that was made after Old Town Road. And guys, it made me physically sick. I've always been one of those, I didn't let entertainment affect me. I mean, sure, I had people, that I followed, just about my whole entire life. And to see where this industry's gone in 42 years, it scares me, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I know y'all hear my puppy barking. He's barking at the dogs next door. Zeus. Zeus. He's very energetic. But most puppies are. But squirrel moment. But kids are about this stuff. And now more than ever, we need to keep an eye on what our kids watch, the games they play. And I didn't realize until I was watching PIA today. I'm not sure if she calls it, PIA or just PIA. But I did not realize the content of the old Microsoft game Omicron. OMKRON. The it talks there's many controversial things within that video game. It talks about the all-seeing eye, in which anybody that has studied history, and is up on the occult knows what the seeing eye stands for. Look on your money. You have the all-seeing eye. Within the occult culture, you have so many symbols that can be linked back to the occult. And, it's disturbing. Not only as a Christian, but as a mother. I don't want my kids exposed to this stuff. And yes, I know you can't shelter and protect them forever. But we can try. My oldest daughter is a lot like me. She likes to study up on things. We like to know what's going on. If we don't understand it, we will dig and dig and dig until, it clicks in our brains. In which I've studied up on, the symbolisms of Christianity. And there is a lot within the symbolisms that actually go back to paganism. One of the biggest controversies is Jesus's birthday. Lord, I dropped my phone. A lot of people, we celebrate Christmas, December 25th. The story of Jesus's birth and the Star of Bethlehem actually debunks that. And I'm going to go further in depth on that on another day. That's going to be one of those, I might not do it live. I might, just tape it. Because a lot of times I get distracted on lives and, and I don't mind that. Most of the lives, will be for news or, if I'm bored and I don't have anything to do or if something, news related breaks. Or if I feel like going down a rabbit hole. I like rabbit holes. You find out a lot of stuff when you go down a rabbit hole. I would like to get with some other content creators, and us get together and discuss things. I have found that I have a lot of common beliefs with some of the content creators. And maybe we can do that on like Saturdays or Sundays, whichever day's good for, the other person as well as myself. Hey, Miss Mac, how are you? I'm glad you made it in for the live. Did you get my comment on that video last night about the notifications? Excuse me. But there's so many different ways that as a content creator you can go. Okay, maybe that'll help you out. I've noticed that, or I had noticed that I wasn't getting some of the notifications, and I had to go back in and, re-click. Because I know you comment a lot on my videos, and I appreciate that. But I was just talking about, the tornado outbreak the other night, and just kind of rambling. There's been one or two in here, and they haven't said anything. So I was just rambling on. What do you it's off the coast of Tasmania? I believe it's Big Brother. And prelude to what's to come, what's discussed in the book of Revelation. I gotcha. I understand that completely. Sometimes I'll be doing the same thing myself. Like if I'm, working with the 22-year-old here in the house, or if I've got the 2-year-old. And it's kind of hard to keep up, when you're busy. So I completely understand. This coffee's kicking my behind today. For some reason, it's got where it gives me indigestion. I see you're in Georgia. Whereabouts in Georgia, if you don't mind my asking? I know we've probably discussed it before. I have a really bad memory. And crazy thing is, I used to have a really good memory. Like when I was working, I could quote you, the price without even thinking twice about it. But in fast food, people pretty much order the same thing, so it gets instilled in your brain. Really? That's awesome. I did not realize that. That, it's a small world. But it amazes me, how close, people can be. I know there's a couple of people I've met that's from Georgia in the community. And, I don't, I don't know about most people, but it makes me feel, like I'm not alone. That I'm not completely crazy. Because when I first started, you know, gathering stuff up, and I didn't consider myself a prepper. But, you know, I'm trying to think of the way to say this. It's a lifestyle. Or at least for me, it's something that I consider, think about daily. Trying to work through different scenarios in my mind of what could happen, based on news, based on facts, based on history. And you know how it is for us people down here in South Georgia, our history's instilled in us. Awesome, that comment. I actually go there quite frequently. As a matter of fact, I was over there last Monday. Well, I was in lines. I had went to get measurements for my new glasses I'll be getting after the first of the year. But, that's a good town. You know, our high school's football teams are big rivals. I just don't like to drive over there. I get confused, and so the back to back traffic and whatnot with anxiety does not help at all. I don't even like to drive in Douglas, which is 30 miles the opposite way from me. However, y'all have a lot of good eating places. Give me just a minute, Miss Mac, please. Okay, I'm getting the 22-year-old some cereal, but I'm here. But you know, I grew up down here in the South. So I guess for me, it's a way of life. I'm trying not to make too much racket, but you know how that goes with cereal. But what have you been working on as far as preps and all this week, Miss Mac? My parents and I are actually looking into getting some goats and some cows and pigs. There ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, I'm fully back now. um, I actually work, or I help out with my best friend's stepson 3 days a week. I usually have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and Saturday off. But he's pretty good. He's able to feed himself, and um put on his shirts by himself. About 3 years ago, he was in a real bad car wreck, and he's got traumatic brain, injuries. He he's a very sweet. You did miss Matt. I remember that. And that was one of my biggest fears when I got my laptop, that I wouldn't be able to you know stream from it. I still got to figure out what's going on with that. I reckon I'll have to get my son-in-law to check it out before he leaves for New York. Always I've always been tender-hearted towards kids and people with special needs. Even when I was in school, when people would try to bully, the people with needs, or the kids with needs, I would be the one to stand up for. And I am not a violent person, but when it comes to stuff like that, I'd be willing to fist fight if need be. Because a lot of my friends were, special needs in some way, shape, or form. But this kid, that wreck turned his life upside down. He had his whole life ahead of him, and just one, wrong move, and it changed his life completely. But we have physical therapy coming in a couple of times a week to work with him. His left leg, he keeps, bent up as close to his body as he can. He doesn't really like for you to mess with that foot and leg. But myself and his stepmom, he'll allow us to, put his socks on and put his pants on. He gives his dad a hard time, though. And I tell his dad that's because he's the child's rock. He's always been the parent that was there for him. And the 2-year-old absolutely loves him. In a lot of ways, mentally, he's resorted back to being a child. And that's my heart. It really is. But then he has, sometimes he'll be, in his right place for a day. Mm, that I don't know, Miss Mac. I got an iPad, but it's like the first generation, and I can't do anything on it but write. I can't even get into YouTube on it, which is crazy. And you know, with iPads, you have to actually purchase, music and whatnot. And which, either the end of this month or, sometime next month, I will be getting a iPhone. It'll be my third iPhone. Oh, bless it. Come on, Dada, you can do it. Scrappy. About a year ago, we had a boy here in our town that he tragically lost his life in a real bad wreck. And he was, on the football team and the wrestling team and, whatnot. And he was actually going to college on scholarship. Come on. He was really, really loved in the community. Yes, ma'am, I understand that. Help, but the heart, strings to be tugged. What do you think about the recent earthquakes and all? We have those over there, off the coast of Oregon. And we have a uptick in earthquakes along the New Madrid fault. And the New Madrid's more dangerous than the San Andreas. And I've been watching Mary Greeley, here on YouTube, and she does a lot of the Yellowstone, and they, and there's a excuse me, and Yellowstone's got a lot going on. Oh, bless his heart. A lot of kids nowadays swears a lot more than when I was in school. But I honestly believe that what we're experiencing now is the birthing pains that is spoke about with in Revelations with the whore of Babylon. And I try not to say that word, but that's the only way to say it. They will do that. They think that it's funny when people curse and whatnot. Which I remember being in school, and I thought it was funny. But I guess every kid goes through that stage. It really is, Miss Mac. It's God knows what's gonna happen. We don't. And my best friend's agnostic. She believes in a higher power, but with so many religions, you know, they have one main God, and it kind of trickles down and whatnot. And I mean, I see her point. How do we know, that what we believe is the right way? But I tell her I believe in God, you know, and be wrong than, to, you know, burning. But, as a Christian, I long daily for Jesus to come back and rescue us from, the believers from everything that's going on. Because even now, Christians are persecuted for their beliefs. We always have been. And us living where we live at, we're in the Bible Belt of the South. Which makes it even worse. Or better, depending on how you look at it. I tell everybody, we have more churches and convenience stores here than we have anything else. And which I'm sure you've drove through here before. It's a small town. He really did, Miss Mike. He really did. God gave us free will. Even though he knows that and knew that, not everybody would choose to follow him. And, honestly, I don't see how people can look around them in this world and not see the beauty of it. If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't have food. We wouldn't have the beautiful trees, the beautiful sky and whatnot. As everything else, um, everything must come to an end. And I'd always been taught to believe in the rapture. And I'm not saying that the rapture won't happen, because at some point in time it will. We just don't know when. Oh, I understand that. I have family over that way. I have some that live, where you live, but I also have some that live in Mount Vernon. That's on my mom's side of the family. I have family, um, in Florida and Utah and some in Alaska. And the ones in Alaska I've never seen. My great aunt lives up in Salt Lake City, Utah. She comes down about once or twice a year. But I haven't seen her since 1994, I believe it was, when my grandpa died. She did. No, I did see her back in 2016. She came down for her baby sister's funeral. Her last sister that passed away, she didn't get to come because the whole COVID, was going on. I'd love to visit Alaska, but it'd be way too cold. I don't know if you're subscribed to them, but there's a family here on YouTube that lives in Alaska. It's called Summers in Alaska, and they're great people. They take you, different places and whatnot. My great aunt, one in Utah, but was her sister. She she used to tell us about her time up in Alaska. Her husband was in the military at the time. I'm subscribed to Alaska Prepper as well. He's a pretty cool guy. He's very, very generous in his time and donation and all. And I enjoy, watching people, donate time and whatnot. Knows the airplane going over. Yeah, I enjoy AP. He's, pretty spot on a lot of things. And there's another channel I subscribe to that's from Alaska. I can't remember the name of that channel at the moment. There's, a couple of them that's from up in Alaska. And, they have to prep for yearly. The summers are actually in North Pole, Alaska. And I did see yesterday where Alaska's on earthquake and volcano watch. Yeah, it's Bert and Jessica. They, like I said, they're very, good and very, very busy. Lord, the whole month of December they go, they make videos daily. Except for on Saturday and Sunday, they take that for family time. Yeah. And I like Angry Prepper too, but he's in New York. Boy, that man speaks his mind. He has no filter. Which is refreshing. But our community, it's hard to believe is as big as it is. It really is. And I know Southern Prepper One, does videos, trying to link people that's in the same states. And I think that's completely awesome. A lot of us watch the same channels. And I watch Ed at Prepper Nurse One as well. He has a lot of good information. Hey, Von Eric, how are you? So am I, so am I. being a nurse, it has to be stressful. I couldn't imagine working through, what's transpired, over the last 2 years. I actually worked, as custodian in nursing home as well as the local hospital here, and I seen what the nurses go through. The doctors just come in once, twice daily, but the nurses is hands on, 12, 14 hours. At one time, I had considered going to, oh, okay. At one time, I had considered going to nursing school, but I wanted to go into the neonatal program. But yeah, Jason the Angry Prepper, is really good. He gives us, a pretty good side on what's going on in New York. How was your day going, Von Eric? We just chilling and chit chatting back and forth. There ain't nothing really, major going on. But here in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna try to get in touch with some of the ladies and um get the all female panel, you know, planned out and whatnot. It took me a minute to be able to put the StreamYard link into the chat. On the laptop you can just go in and click it and pay, it automatically go in, but with my phone it wouldn't do that. I'm glad to hear. What you think about that black box off the coast of Tasmania? I don't really like the idea of, the world government knowing what I do, but, they track us every day anyway. These phones tell on us more than we know. Like I'll ask Alexa on Amazon to, look up something for me, and the next time you go in, that's all you see is, what you've asked to see. Alexa and Siri is a great tool, but they're also spies. Really, there's not. Even Twitter will tell on you. And Metaverse. I'm actually fixing to. I want to keep my chat for Facebook, due to I stay connected with, family members. They really do. I want to stay, in contact with family members that don't live near me, but I'm going to take the Facebook app itself off my phone. I don't even have Facebook on my laptop. I do on my desktop, but my desktop doesn't have a camera or anything. And I didn't realize that when I actually bought the laptop. But it was a pretty good deal. It was about $200. and my laptop only cost me $168, but it has the camera. I'm still trying to work the kinks out on it. For some reason, my mic don't like to work on it. Come on, Dada. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Come on. Come on. I actually have a lot of accounts on Twitter. I need to get my Georgia Peach Prepping, up on Twitter. I know y'all have heard me talk about it. I do a lot of writing, and there's a community that's called role playing, and not in the sexual kind of way. Where we write stories. As a matter of fact, I have my own group that does that. I honestly believe that the government's behind it, Von Erich. I'm not even going to beat around the bush about that. Especially if you look at all the states that was hit the other night. It just, if you sit and think about it, it, makes a lot of sense. That, and I've been watching, I can't remember the name of the channel, but he does lives every day. And he's been watching, the weather patterns off the southern coast of Florida, and you can tell that they're not normal. Miss Mac, what you do is you create you a new, email, and use that email. No, ma'am. Lord, James Kaufman with World News Today. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. He does a lot on the sun, the CMEs and all that. And I honestly believe the contrails have something to do with it too. Some people say it's to strengthen our atmosphere against the solar flares, and I honestly believe it's weather manipulation. They probably have your IPN address. I can honestly say I've never been kicked off Twitter in my 17 years on there. Yeah, I've actually never been kicked off Facebook either. And they steal a lot of power outages up in the states that got hit the other night, in which that's to be expected. How the intensity of them storm. I know years ago when we had a hurricane come through, we lost power for like 4 either days. And that was rough. That's the reason why we're looking into getting a generator. So we won't have to deal with that, hopefully. Ah, I understand that. Yeah, Twitter don't like number 44. Not at all. No, number 45, not 44. They love 44. And when you have a platform like that, in my opinion, you should let everybody speak their mind as long as they're respectful. I can see getting rid of people, that aren't respectful. And I try to be a respectful person, and I usually am until somebody keeps pushing my buttons. I'm honestly beginning to doubt him as well. And I mean, I was full blown behind number 45. But now looking back, I believe he went down ground. Because the man didn't know how to quit, with the media and whatnot. He really did. He did. And I mean, in some ways he done, you know, he he stabilized our economy and whatnot, but he just, I don't know. I can't explain it. Excuse me. But I really would. I've been watching DeSantis, down in Florida, and I'd really like to hear more on his views and his morals. More than likely so. More than likely so, because they were all real, real tight until he quote unquote ran for president and was elected. But it don't matter who runs for top office, nobody, and not everybody's gonna be happy. They really and truly are, Von Erich. They really are. They don't care about us. You know, I can honestly say I think Putin cares more about, his country than our big government cares about us. And used to it wasn't like that. I think the last good president we had was Ronald Reagan. As of right now, if DeSantis or Abbott was to run for top office, they'd have my vote. I'm always willing to give somebody one shot, just not the one that is in there now because, he was VP. He's been in politics way too long and's never done anything for the American people. But DeSantis and Abbott both seem to have a good, strong head on their shoulders. But if 45 runs again, depending on who his opponent is, I doubt I'll vote for him. I agree, Miss Mike. I really agree. our whole government's been bought. The one in now is China's back pocket. He really is. And they done said if it comes down to a war that China will side with Russia. In which we already knew that anyway. The one that's now, you could not pay me to vote for that man, Von Erich. You really could not. He, I was all for him until right there at the end. And he turned. I knew he was a Democrat, even though, he ran with T-Man. But he rubbed me the wrong way. And the with Mills over in Congress, and once she ripped them papers up, I wanted to go through that TV screen and strangle her. But I didn't want to break my TV. She really has she really has no desire to help anybody herself. I agree, Miss Mac. I really do. Our port should be owned by the U.S., not China. In my opinion, China should not own anything in our country except for their embassy. And I'll tell you, another group that needs to get out of the United States is the UN. They really should not be in the United States. But to me, that's because, we're quote unquote demonic. Whew, that applies too, but democratic nation. They should be somewhere that, doesn't lean one way or the other. A country that should be neutral. They really are. They're buying up our farmlands. They're paying the farmers to waste the food, to waste the milk. And I mean, me personally, I could live without milk. Yes, Miss Mac, that would be a good country for them to move to. But I don't think Switzerland wants them there either. Now, I've always heard Switzerland, but I can't talk. Switzerland, is a neutral country. But, every country has their own beliefs and, what they stand for. I didn't know that, Von Erich. I really and truly did not know that. But I believe it on come to where the United States is at the United States. Truthfully, I don't believe the U.S. is mentioned in the Bible. For us to have such a big role, for lack of a better way of putting it, in world affairs, I believe we would have been mentioned in there, maybe not by name, but if we were still going to be around. Because, we're supposedly one of Israel's biggest allies. But I honestly believe if it comes down to war between Israel and the Arab countries, that the United States will not stand. Ma'am, it did, Miss Mac. They really shouldn't, Von Eric. The highway tolls is supposed to, be allowed. The money's supposed to go to repairing the roads and whatnot. When we go to court at the end of the month, we're actually on go back road, so we don't have to pay the tolls. And I know that's wrong, but it is what it is. A lot of people don't know about Jake Wiley. And it's one of, it has a lot of rich history. We used to go there every summer when I was a kid. And then we discovered Cherokee, North Carolina, and, well, there went the beach trips. In which Cherokee somewhere I absolutely love to go. We're actually on make a detour through Cherokee on our way up to New York. My son-in-law's never been to Cherokee. However, I'm a little anxious. My daughter's gonna be driving, and she gets distracted way too easily. They do, Miss Mac. They really do. The only time I've ever been, that far north, we had no choice. We was in an 18-wheeler. So do I, Miss Mac. So do I. They really did, and I'll admit it. I honestly believe that um that day that was an inside job. It was planned. I mean, that stood, for our infrastructure. And that's one reason why I'm nervous about going up there during New Year's. I really would like to leave the 26th and be back by the 30th. I'm not crazy into going back or going into the city itself. I think it was just like the Travis Scott concert. There's been a lot of talk of sacrifices throughout the year. Like Marilyn Monroe, JFK, people of influence. But all right, guys, I'm fixing to have to fix supper. My best friend's got to go up to her job for the night, and I want her to be able to eat. We're having pork chops, and I'm not sure what else. Her sister-in-law and I's going to be cooking supper, but I enjoyed this. I like talking back and forth. I haven't ever heard of that, Miss Mac. Is that on YouTube? Lord, here we go with the puppies again. But it was good seeing y'all. If you don't mind, sharing out the lives and the videos. Trying to get my watch hour as well as my subscribers. And I will see y'all out there. Y'all have a good day. God bless. Godspeed. Stay prepped up and stay prayed up. Peace out.